What's happening, Reds? Welcome back to the show. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you as part of the upper tier. Make sure you're subscribing, hit the bell notification button, drop a like in the video, all that good stuff that we talk about. Tuesday morning, back at it on the way into work after a great bank holiday weekend. Also, just to let you know, we didn't have a Monday mashup last night because it was the bank holiday, so we're going to do it tonight. We're going to be live at 9 o'clock. And we have a special guest on with us as well. It's myself and Mark tonight. Tony Brown from Legends 11 is going to be joining us tonight. Tony does all the Legends charity matches over here in Ireland with Man United and Liverpool and Celtic and all that kind of good stuff. So he's going to be giving us an update on Legends 11, giving you an insight into that, but also discussing all the latest Legends 11 matches that are coming up over the next number of months as well. So make sure you tune into that. Tony's a great guy, he's a straight shooter and all. Love chatting to him and all, and loves his football as well. So great to have him on tonight with Mark on the Tuesday trash up, we're calling it, instead of the Monday mashup for 1 week only. 1 week only. Also tonight we have our Pro Wrestling Weeklies going to be coming at you tonight from 7:30, an earlier time than normal. We're going to be reviewing Backlash, and we're going to be talking about all the latest pro wrestling news as well, plus your flavour of history and your notable birthdays as always. Right, let's get back to this. Tottenham 2, Liverpool 4, I should say. Tottenham 2. What's happened? What a difference a week makes, huh? Last week, turmoil, bust-ups on the sideline, talks of players wanting out, all this kind of negative stuff that happens when you have a dip in form. What happened this week that there was such a sea change in the performance? Up against Tottenham, who have had their own struggles similar to ourselves in recent weeks. No confidence, literally no form, coming off the back of some horrible results, like ourselves, trying to chase down a European spot. And it was a kind of a strange game. We said it in the preview that, like, there wasn't really a whole lot in it for us really, because we'd guaranteed Champions League for next season. So kind of for us really mathematically staying in the title race, if you like. And I know people won't want to hear that, but I mean, that's the truth, isn't it? Like, so we're still trying to keep it as honest as we possibly can against Arsenal and Man City. But look, that's only a bit of fun, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we went out there, and I think from minute one we were on it. I think we were, you know, there was a focus about us. I spoke about it at the Fulham game as well. You could see in the players there was a focus about the players in terms of what they wanted to do and achieve. And I think these players have woke up to the fact as well that, like, there's an obligation on these players not only to win but to perform, but also to try and send the gaffer off the right way. Now, when we talk about the right way has kind of come and gone really when you think about the title race, the FA Cup and the Europa League. So we knew as fans what we wanted as the right way. But there's still an obligation to send it off in a right way, in terms of a winning way, in terms of a feel-good factor about things. And you could see it there the other day. The smiles on the faces was back. The playing with the freedom, the playing for each other. You know, there was a desire from every player on the pitch to want the ball instead of going hiding. Disappointing that we coughed up 2 goals, but I think we were so dominant. I think we just fell off a little bit really. So I wouldn't throw much at that, but I do like to see clean sheets when we bounce back. But the 4 goals were awesome. Harvey's goal, all the goals were just awesome. But just Spurs look a pale resemblance of themselves. And I did say in the preview as well, we owed them one from the match down in White Hart Lane, the new White Hart Lane. We did owe them one because we did get done dirty down there, there's no doubt about it. Especially as the season went on and the way things have evolved with VAR decisions and all that kind of stuff. We got done proper dirty down there. So there was an obligation to go out and perform against these. We felt we owed them one. We definitely owed the gaffer one. And it was nice to see, you know, Mo playing with that freedom again. Looked like he had found that yard of pace, or half a yard of pace, that seemed to be missing. He seemed to be quite buoyed in the way he wanted to play. But it's kind of weird, isn't it? Because when you see the starting lineup, you start asking questions. You know, if he's starting this week against Spurs, why didn't he start last week against West Ham? And we could have avoided all that fucking crap last week. But it is what it is, and hindsight's a great thing and all that kind of stuff. But you do kind of ask questions like, you know, where has the team been? That team that played on Saturday, or Sunday I should say, with such free-flowing football. Passing was on point. We were opening them up like a can of beans, basically. It was so easy. So where's it been the last 4 or 5 weeks? And I know people will make points that, like, you know, you can't keep up a certain level all season long. But we know when we're up against Man City, you know, we know when we're up against Everton and all these teams. We have to keep it going week every week. We have to show up and we have to perform. Like that team that played against Spurs the other day, that ain't the team that played against Palace. It certainly ain't the team that played against Everton. And it certainly ain't the team that played against West Ham. So there is some questions over that. As much as we're happy that we're back on winning ways, and, you know, some of the smiling is back and stuff like that. And although we'll take what we've given, what we get this season, we're back in the Champions League. We have been competitive most of the season, in a very difficult season. You know, we still can't avoid or dismiss the disappointment of bowing out of the Europa League in the way we did, bowing out of the FA Cup in the way we did, and kind of stuttering in the title race the last couple of weeks. And that's the frustrating thing, I suppose, for us as Liverpool fans. And there's a lot of positivity coming out at the moment. Thank God. You know, there's talk that Virgil wants to be there for the new era. Looks like he probably signed a new contract. I'm hoping, and no doubt Trent will sign a new contract. Hoping, if he sees the plan and the plan's right. There's talk that Mo might have signed an extra year extension. I'm certainly looking at him playing the other day. It might feel like maybe things have been sorted out a bit, and there's less talk now maybe about him moving on. And we don't know what signing these extensions means. Is it the club protecting the valuation for Saudi, or what it is? We don't know the real ins and outs of these things. We're not that close to the club, but certainly this weekend felt much more Liverpool-like, didn't it? Playing really free-flowing football, plenty of chances being created. You know what I mean? No hysteria on the pitch, you know, no shoulder dropping, you know, and to see the lads after the game as well going around clapping the fans, and, you know, see Robbo as well, much more energised, Harvey well up for it, and that selection of subs coming on, you know. And I suppose the one negative thing that came out of the weekend was obviously the Darwin Núñez situation. Darwin deleting all his Liverpool stuff off his social medias and Instagram and all. It's really, really, at times we really have to question ourselves as a fan base. You know, we have to ask ourselves, really, are these people actually fans of Liverpool Football Club? And where you can be critical about a player, and I think we've all been critical about Darwin and others, not just Darwin, but it's only because we hold in high expectation of what we expect from him, you know. But I just think it's really, I think if you're a Liverpool fan and, you know, that's the kind of stuff you're going in on and posting and all that kind of stuff, you really, you know, you really follow Liverpool Football Club. We all want to be winners. We all want to win more trophies. We all want the team to score more goals. We all want Darwin Núñez to be absolutely prolific and bang them in. And he's had some unbelievable moments this season. The comeback against Newcastle springs to mind, amongst others. But at times he's looked really clinical, at times in his finishing. And then at times it just beggars belief. But you know, we've had that this season. It's been a weird season because it's a kind of a weird, you know, new midfield coming in. Klopp obviously announcing that he's going, and all these other things around the club. It's been a weird season, and there's been a weird drop off from a lot of players. You know, you seen it even there the other day with Mo. He had that chance right under the crossbar and he missed kicks and, you know, misses the ball and the ball goes out wide for a kick out. So like there's a lot of players have dropped their form all season, you know, and I think it's now time probably to come together as a group, and that's what we're seeing at the weekend. Come together as a group, get back to, you know, doubters to believers. This means more. You'll never walk alone. All that kind of stuff, you know. And I think it would be it'd be a very disappointing situation if Darwin Núñez was to leave Liverpool Football Club in this way. I think next season's going to be a very different season for us. I think we'll get another sprinkling of quality in there that needs to be in there. I'd like to see players being brought in to challenge and create competition in key areas. I'd like to see Mo getting challenged competitively wise with a player in there and stuff like that, and I think that would bring out the best in him. I think for too long now he's kind of locked down that right-sided position to himself, and there's no real competition there. And I think sometimes it's a kind of a positive tip the hat to Mo that he's been able to maintain the standard he has, with no one breathing down his neck looking to take his spot. And I'd like to see that, but not only see that, I'd like to see that player, whoever it is that comes in, or if you end up picking up the squad, whoever it is, you know, I'd like to see them feed off Mo in training as well. You know what I mean? So when Mo Salah does decide to leave, if it's this season or next season or 2 years or 4 years, maybe he stays till the end of his career, who knows? You know, I want to know that we've given everything we can in terms of succession and stuff like that. We talk about, you know, players coming in and stuff like that, and the timing of them coming in and stuff like that. And the left back position is a great example. Robbo has had that locked down for years, to the point where if Costas comes in or Joey comes in to take up that position, it doesn't matter how good they play. It doesn't matter what happens, because as soon as Robbo's fit again, or if he's not suspended or whatever it is, he goes straight back into the team. That's what I don't like, and I spoke about it the other day in the preview as well. I want people who are holding the position to hold the position, and it has to be taken back off them, won back off them by the player in situ. And I want more competition throughout the squad. I think it's clear to identify what we need. I think certainly Endo has done a job for us there this season. I do not want to see Mac getting shuttled into the 6 at times again. So I think we need to go out there and buy a world-class 6. If there's one out there, and one that fits the Arnie, Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes profile. But all in all, I think it was a good weekend. Obviously, United getting pumped last night was fantastic as well to see. I mean, you know, sometimes you look at our own club and we operate at a certain level, so, you know, we've high expectations and obligations about what we should and shouldn't achieve in a season. And when you look around at some of the other clubs that are there at the moment and what they're going through, it's massive compared to us. We do have quite the squad there. If we can just get it clicking and get it energised and get it you know, belief. It was great to hear Jurgen after the game. He was asked about, talking about giving the players the belief again, and he made the point that he didn't give them the belief. The belief was always there. They just had to find it themselves again, basically, you know. So that was interesting. And so yeah, let's roll on. Up next Monday, Aston Villa away. That's going to be a tough one. I think really that game, Villa Park's always a tough place for us to go. I mean, it wasn't so long ago we were getting pumped there, you know. So I think it's really important to see. Let's see how Thursday pans out for Villa with the Europa Conference. If they can turn around that 2-goal deficit against Olympiacos and stay in Europe, they might have different priorities. They've more or less tied down Europe, or Champions League. So, and that's been unbelievable for Emery. But I think Emery would have designs on delivering some silverware as well. He's that type of guy, and we know what an expert he is in terms of European trophies and stuff like that, especially at the Europa League level and Europa Conference level. So let's see what comes out of there on Thursday, because if they were to overcome Olympiacos and move on into the, I think it's where the final range stage now. This is the semis, isn't it? If he was to do that, he might have a very different priority on who he selects and who he plays, and they might, again, we seen they came off a poor result there against Brighton, 1-0 I think it was. But I'm sure he's shuffling the deck there to make sure everyone is fit for Thursday, because Thursday is a huge priority for him. It's one thing qualifying for Europe, and it's one thing having a good season, but it's a totally other thing than to put silverware in the cabinet. And I think if Emery was to put silverware in the cabinet this season, not that he's not already in the running, but he has to be up there for manager of the year, doesn't he? Getting Aston Villa back into the Champions League, you know, and the turnaround he's done on that Aston Villa team is sensational, you know. Yeah, but we'll be talking about all these things tonight on Tuesday Trash Up. Just a little different name, but it's the Monday Mashup basically. We'll have a look at the Champions League situation as well, and we'll get Tony's thoughts as well on Man United as well. He's a Man United fan, so we'll get his thoughts on Man United at the moment, bringing you just a different little flavour. Obviously last night extremely disappointing for the club. But yeah, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and drop a like on the video. And I'll catch you tonight for a double header, starting off with Pro Wrestling Weekly and moving into Tuesday Trash Up. Talk to you soon, folks. Cheers.